they were saying, and I pledged Alpha Phi Alpha, and I'll be an alpha man until the day. And then they had said in unison, I D-I-E, I die. Right before it said die, it was a loud thunder crash that was in the whole gym that shook the whole gym. And people were looking around like, what's going on in here? Like, what's going on? And our words have power. The reason why I'm pointing this particular part of the story out, our words have power. And so we have to be very mindful of, especially when we say words like die, like certain words like forever, certain words like eternity, those words mean something. And most of the fraternities and sororities, along with Freemasons and Eastern Stars, they have songs that say that you're going to be a member of until the day you die, or until Judgment Day, is what I found out some of the sororities say from some of my ex-Delta sisters. And so it's like, these are things you cannot literally negate. You cannot argue the point that when it comes to death and eternity, we're supposed to be in the new Zion. We're supposed to be in heaven if we're believers. And so certain things we cannot take with us. And our probate, fast forwarding, it was, for me and a lot of the other, I know, members of our line, it was an experience, to say the least. It was hype. It was literally well attended. People were literally patting us on the back. People were hating on us, of course, when we had crossed, because they knew that we had not had a split line at the time. That wasn't until later. But afterwards, which I'll get into in a second, they had basically been hating on a lot of the members that we had, whether they were well known on our line or not. We had a lot of hate, but we also had a lot of love that people showed. And so after we had crossed, we get, of course, through the probate. What I started to see was that during the time we were preparing for the probate, there was some talk about us possibly going underground. And when I say underground, that means that you're going not above ground, or you're not going the legit way of being processed by, let's say, your grad chapter, or let's say even your assistant dean of pledge, or your DP, your dean of pledge for your chapter, if you have other members that have already crossed previously at your college or university, but that you're going through a legit process. Underground is basically you're going underground where people don't know what's happening unnecessarily, that none of the leadership for your grad chapter is supposed to know, so that if anything goes wrong, that they can't trace it back to those that were involved from a leadership perspective. And these are things that I found out after I had done my research and talked to more people, especially that went through long processes at HBCUs and PWIs. And so some of the talk was around that we were going to go through an underground process after probate. This is after we received our membership letters. This is after we received confirmation that we were members of Alpha.